Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our show. This is a movie review. We go out and watch movies and bring back reviews on them, let you know whether they're worth seeing or not and whether you should waste your time or not. We have two hosts today, Brother Benjamin Shabazz, myself, and Brother Julius Anwar. Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, salam.
How you doing?
All right, all right.
Okay. Well, let's start off with another movie first, then we'll get back to this one. On a previous show, we did Venom, right? What was the other two we did? Venom.
The Hate You Give,
The Hate You Give.
Transfigure,
Transfiguration. Was it Transfigure or just Transfiguration?
Transfiguration.
Okay.
Then you did Night School.
Yeah, we're going to get back into Night School because we got to kind of review it.
Right.
Another movie came out was Small Feet. Did you hear anything about that?
No.
Yeah, it was one of those kid movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
With its animation, and they had Common in it, the voices of Common in it, a couple more people. So I went with my grandkids. They wanted to see it. And really, it was a good time for the whole family to come together. That's kind of like what that movie did. Like if you take your family out, you know what I'm saying? There wasn't anything in it that was so harsh or gross that it would gross your kids out. Or there wasn't any foul language. But the movie was the movie. The theme in the movie was paramount, was out of sight. So there was nothing real heavy, but yet it had a message to be told. And it's animated, like I said, and I was impressed. Usually those kind of movies that, I can go to sleep on them. But I was impressed by this movie and the message that was in it. And basically, it's about the what's those animals? Sasquatch. It's about Sasquatches that live up in the mountains. And that's what normal people call Sasquatch is Bigfoot. And what they call regular humans is Smallfoot. See? And they have concocted this story that small feet don't exist, you see. And so when you're living up in the mountains, they have these clouds, so you really can't see down below, see. So every now and then, the people try to fly their planes up there and see if they can, capture some Bigfoots, you see. And this is what happened. The dude was flying up there and the plane crashed on the mountain, but he was looking for some Bigfoot. And so there was this interaction. But the thing that was interesting about the whole movie was that the stories that are told to protect people. And their story was that there was no such thing as a Smallfoot. And then when they finally saw one, then captured him, they had to try to make these two stories. How can you say there's no such thing and we have one right here, Mm-hmm. So the whole thing was about how the Bigfoot tried to make friends with the Smallfoots, many hundreds of years ago. And what they did was they came up on the mountains and tried to conquer them, they were killing them and everything. So they had this history back in the caves, all written on the walls and everything, but they kept it a secret. And they just put the story, there's no such thing as Smallfoot, so don't even worry about them. And the message was really, 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 really deep. And as an African American or Native American, you can relate to it from that perspective, how they were trying to protect their people from the ravages of modern society. So my recommendation is a must-see movie. It's the type of movie you can take your family out on the weekend, get you some popcorn or whatever, and everybody can sit up there and enjoy the movie. And the message was very profound and phenomenal. So Smallfoot gets a plus. So we did The Hate You Give. Oh, another movie came out was Hunter Killer. You heard about that one? Yeah, it was a submarine movie, about the Russian subs in the Antarctica and everything like that. So, I'm an ex-military man. I want to go check this out. You got that movie with Denzel called Crimson Tide, and all these other submarine movies. Man, I went to see the movie. So just for the brief it and save you guys a lot of time, the movie was a complete waste of time, all the way around. There's nothing in the movie that had any social redeeming qualities.
Was Common in it?
No, no. He was in it. Yeah, he was in it. And it's those big name stars like that that draw you. Yeah, I'm gonna come see this. You see what I'm saying? Man, the movie was absolute waste of time. So it's like if you don't have nothing to do with your life, if you just out there floating in the air and you want to waste some more time, go see Hunter Killer. If not, you haven't missed anything. Okay, so now we back to, okay, here we go. Girl in the Spider's Web. That was promoted, came out, oh yeah. The first scene in the movie was where she has this dude hanging upside down, and she has all the goods on him, all these pictures on him, because he goes around and he hurts women, you see. And she has him hanging upside down, and she gets his bank account number from his wife and everything, and gives his money out to these women that he has hurt and so forth and whatnot. And the brother that was in Sorry to Bother You, the star of that movie, you remember who that was?
I think Lakeith Stanfield.
Okay. He was in the movie. So here's another name that's a draw. You see, and his position in the movie was irrelevant. I mean, this is not a comedy.
He was a supporting actor.
Yeah, he was irrelevant. I mean, you could have had anybody in there playing that part. Matter of fact, his whole part was irrelevant. But I guess they wanted to highlight him as being a serious actor, so he did a good job on that. So you can miss it. Catch the DVD. You can miss it. The opening scene, which was the most paramount scene, which really was the trailer. The trailer was the opening scene, and that was the best scene in the whole movie. So, Girl in the Spider's Web gets what's those people doing the thumbs up, thumbs down? Gets a thumbs down for me, man. Overlord. You hear anything about that?
Yeah. It's like a Nazi.
Overlord. Yeah, it's during World War II, during the Nazis. It's a must-see movie. What's that brother? Hakeem?
Woodbine.
Yeah, Hakeem Woodbine is in it. And there's another brother in it that I do not know his name. He played through the whole movie. And the special message was in that movie. It was very informative. There was lots of action. It was racial tension. And it was a beautiful expose of white supremacy in the advent of a super race. So Overlord. But it's gruesome. It's got a lot of gruesome parts in it. So if you got a tender heart, you don't want to see it. Otherwise, I recommend it because it's very informative and it shows you a lot of things that's going on today and why they're going on today in terms of this racial division and the rise of white supremacy. So Overlord, good movie. The next movie I went to see was Boy Erased. You hear anything about that one?
Yeah. Talking about conversion therapy.
Conversion therapy for young people that have homosexual tendencies. So that's why I went to see it, because I wanted to see what type of mind manipulation they were going to use, right? And it was a whole group of white people, white kids. So I'm thinking, you don't go to any kind of movie, basically, they're always gonna throw a black person in there some kind of way. There was no black people in the movie. There was no black people that were homosexuals that had problems. And I said, oh man, this is gonna be a good movie, because they're focusing in on white people, see? And then I wasn't able to watch the whole movie. So I'm gonna have to go back to see it. But what I did see, what I did see, um, I guess I'm talking to people now looking at this from a scientific perspective or a social engineering perspective. It's an excellent movie. It's an excellent movie because it shows you how they try to use steps, different steps, and the thing was that they would work with the language. People would say that I am homosexual, right? They say don't say that. Say that you are sinning against God. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they use that kind of language so that because the whole thing was supposed to be religious based. You go to these camps and you take a religious perspective to change your idea. And the whole thing was that homosexuality was a sin against God, see? So it's very interesting. And I'm going to go back to see the whole thing and come back and do a movie review. So we want to get back to Tiffany Haddish.
Mm-hmm.
And we were on
Night school.
night school.
So is she the teacher in them?
She's the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Hart is the student trying to get his GED.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many stereotypes in this movie. It's like Kevin Hart is the big star. You put Kevin Hart on anything, right? People gonna see it. They know he's a funny guy, right? So they got Tiffany Haddish there and Kevin Hart, right? So I mean, it's like Tiffany Haddish, you know, was that Girls Trip, whatever that was, you know?
Mm-hmm.
She made a name for herself. And then I didn't realize she had her own thing going before that. She was a comedian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so now you got Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish together.
Yeah, those are probably two hottest comedians.
Well, she outshined him. But the whole thing was based on making us look like clowns, fools and buffoons, and making the black woman taking on the macho image and destroying the black man's psyche, ego, right? Because the whole thing in school, she was beating him up. I mean, literally. They was in the ring. She was beating him up, you know. What's the square root of 81? What? Bam! Punch him in the face, you know. And they kept showing the scenes where he was in there, he was just in there by himself. Then she punched him in the mouth. Then the next scene, right back after that, he have on headgear, right? And she asked him another question, and he didn't know it. Then, you know, she knocked him upside the head. Then the next scene, real quick, he have on body armor, right? She was kicking him all in the stomach and everything. So
She was teaching him, though.
that was she's supposed to be teaching him. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's kind of like you take an idea that's carrying another idea. See what I'm saying? One idea is carrying another idea. And that other idea is that the decimation of the black man. He's taking away his whole image of being any kind of authority not only in the black family, but to the black woman. What I mean by authority, I don't mean authority to tell you what to do, but to someone to be respected. You know, there was no respect there. So the writers of the show did an excellent job of doing it. In other words, like I said before, it's just another coon movie. Like throughout the whole movie, nobody used the word nigger, nobody used the word bitch, right? Except for her. Because he says, are you the night school teacher? And she says, do I look like a night school teacher or something? He said, no, I'm just a bitch with a blouse on. Yeah, I'm the night school teacher. You see what I'm saying? She's the one with the foul mouth.
But did they say nigga?
I don't remember. But she's the one with the foul mouth. I think she does say nigga a couple times in it. But it's just her. There's nobody else using that word. So she's carrying the messages. Then the other thing in the movie was that Kevin Hart had a girlfriend. that he was trying to woo back, light-skinned sister, right? And her friend, dark-skinned sister, right? She couldn't stand Kevin Hart. It reminds me of Martin. Remember Martin? His Gina, light-skinned sister, right? And who was the antagonist sister? Her Gina's friend, Pam, right? Dark-skinned sister.
Right.
See, so they're putting that up there. The ideal is the light-skinned sister. See. Yeah. So we're setting the standards. We're setting the beauty standards. And so people ask the question about why is there an epidemic in Africa with black women bleaching their skin? Because these movies go all over the world, you see. So they're projecting this image. The ideal woman is the light-skinned sister. The rejected woman is the dark-skinned sister. This is a stereotype that's being pushed. So black women go out and destroy their lives, bleach their skin, spend all this money so that they can be the ideal person. And this is what was being promoted. The storyline is really irrelevant. It's the other powerful information that's being put out there.
So did he get his GED?
Oh yeah, he got his GED, and he's standing up there trying to make some conversation with Tiffany Haddish, because his girlfriend had basically left him by now, and he's trying to talk. We've been through so much, and everything was nice and everything. Then she busts out and said, "I'm gay. I don't even like men. I'm gay. Nah, I don't want nothing to do with y'all. I'm gay." Just in a real ignorant way, like
Who was the writer?
the drunk in the tavern. I'm gay. Just all loud and wild and everything. Yeah, that'd be something to look up. Who is the writer?
Let's see.
While you looking that up, let's go on to her next movie, Nobody's Fool. With
Is that Tyler Perry?
Yeah, with Whoopi Goldberg. Another coon movie. First scene, she's in the penitentiary. Her two sisters are going to pick her up. The first scene, when they're going to pick her up, she's outside in the parking lot having sex with an African. And they just banging up in the car, and he's talking about, "Oh, hold on there, hold on. She said, no, you got to keep on. And they sitting in the car, the two sisters waiting, so what are you doing? And she says, "I didn't know that dude. That's an African. He's coming to visit his wife." So they start out right there with that put down. You understand? Then she get in the car. This isn't one of the trailers. She get in the car, free at last, free at last. Now it's time to shake that ass. Can we go to the club? And everybody go, "Ha, ha, ha, that's so funny." But her whole character was like that. In other words, it's this ghetto nigga. That's what she was portraying. The ghetto nigga. No sophistication about her. No common sense. Like she's getting this job at this coffee shop, right? And she's filling out the application, and she says, "It says on here sex. What should I put down?" And he says, "Well, put down what you want to put down." She said, "Okay, often, And then she's waiting on somebody, and the dude comes up to get his coffee, and she says, "Well, what would you like?" And then he looks up on the reader board, right? She says, "Oh no, you've been waiting in line for an hour and you don't even know what you want by now. Get out of line. Next, please." Just the whole thing was that dumb shit, man. We just sick of that dumb shit, man. So nobody respects us because all they expect out of us is dumb stuff. I mean, why should I respect you on a serious note? Give me something to respect you about. You see what I'm saying? And all this loud talk, downplaying men, running around, being disrespectful to everybody, and all that's supposed to be cool. But that's not who we are, see? But she's a comedian, and this is how she makes her money, and people get excited. But black people look at it, because I've talked to black people about it, they say, oh, I thought it was funny.
So is this the one where she comes back to the family after, or she was in jail or something? Yeah. There's a Tyler Perry movie.
That's it.
But I mean,
With Whoopi Goldberg in it.
that's it.
And she's at the window because her mother won't let her stay with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. One of the writers for Night School was Kevin Hart, but there's 6 writers, and I think all the other writers were white, I believe.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me none. That's the whole sad part about it. I mean, like if you in a movie and the line says, well, you should walk over to the door, unlock the door, and holler out the door, what time is it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, well, why don't we do it like this? I walk over to the door, I open the door, and I say, hey, all you MFs, what time is it? Then you wrote that. See what I'm saying? They gonna put you down, you wrote that. So it's all different kind of ways to get your name up there as a writer. You can just change something,
Right.
and you can be a writer. But the main people who are putting forth this idea, so anyway, these movies are deadly to our kids.
Right.
They're deadly to our kids because these are examples. These are role models. So I put it to you like this. If you want to have some fun and do a lot of laughing, get it on DVD. But if you're going to go out in the public and watch this, and have white people in there seeing you watching this, and it's like, it's disgraceful. These movies are disgraceful. Nobody's fool in Night School. They're just disgraceful. And they're giving these people millions of dollars to make us look like fools. And do you remember Amos and Andy? If people talk about Amos and Andy, I know you're too young to really remember that.
There was a movie with Nicolas Cage and Samuel L. called Amos and Andy.
Yeah.
But I was too young to understand it.
Well, you heard about Step and Fetch It? Step and Fetch It, I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amos and Andy is from that
era. And you remember the movie put out by Robert Townsend?
Hollywood Shuffle.
Hollywood Shuffle, yeah, that's the idea. You remember the message in that movie?
Right, don't sell out.
Right, that's the idea. But Step and Fetch It, if you was to watch him on TV, you'd crack out laughing. You'd fall on the floor laughing. But he was a millionaire. In those days, when $100 was a lot of money, he was a millionaire. And he was a young man. But the image that he projected was black people was lazy, they was no good, they had no morals. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what he projected. And this is what he was paid to project. Because when people look at the movie, they're not looking at the fact that he's an actor, he's making money. They're looking at what's making them laugh,
Right.
type of thing. So these movies, so there's nothing new. That's what I'm trying to say. Amos and Andy, they have you cracking up. But you sitting next to white folks, they cracking up too, see? But they're making fun of you. Because they know when you leave the movie, you understand, they are your bosses. You don't walk down the street on equal footing. You don't go in the restaurant in the front door, you go in the restaurant in the back door. I mean, you follow what I'm trying to say? So, it's the same thing now. So if you want to laugh at your own people, that's one thing. But do it in private, man. Get the DVD. But to go out and watch these people call each other niggas and bitches and all this kind of stuff, it's very disheartening. That's what I'm trying to say. In these days and times, to be a woke individual is very disheartening. So that's it. That's all I got. You got anything else you want to?
Oh, that's it. That's all I got. I'm looking forward to seeing Mr. Glass.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep seeing I've seen the trailers on that. You know?
Right.
Yeah. So we have covered so far, in our first two shows, we have covered Venom, which was a plus all the way around, right? Night School, which was, in my opinion, was a disgrace to black people, but it was funny. Fahrenheit 11/9, a Michael Moore movie, excellent movie, the documentary. Everybody should try to see that. If you can, get the DVD and see it. Small Feet, animated movie, excellent family movie with Common in it. The Hate You Give, excellent movie. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hunter Killer, complete waste of time. Nobody's Fool, another Tiffany Haddish movie, another Coon movie. Girl in the Spider's Web, it's another waste of time, but you might want to see it, but it had no internal depth to it. Overlord, must see. Overlord, you must see. And Boy Erased is a work in progress. We're gonna try to see it again, give you more information on it. Well, we want to thank you for allowing us to come into your living room and share some things with you. We hope we shared some things to help you. And we want to say we thank you for watching. Thank you, Brother Julius. And we're going to come back and try to see you in a couple of weeks with the movie review. Assalamu alaikum.